Hello, everybody. It is that time again. It is your illustrious hosts, Infernal and Dragon.
How y'all doing?
For those who have returned, we thank you for being a part of another episode. And for those who are new, a welcome. Check those many episodes that we have prior so that you get to know us better and you understand what you've
There's a
gotten
lot.
yourself into. Yeah, we'll be breaking 100 soon.
Good God.
And yeah, so we're just gonna kind of like pop right on into it. Bear with me, I am exhausted, so I'm running at like 65% at best. So if my energy is lower than usual, it's because it is. And for those who know, I have low energy to begin with. And
Yeah, he's skin and bones.
and I'm still working. I'm making it through. Yeah, skin and bones, and the mask barely fits as is. Only a certain amount of you know what my mask looks like, and so bear with me. We do have more content that is for your viewing and listening pleasure on our Patreon. So pop over to patreon.com/the Dragon's Den 55. That's patreon.com/Dragon's Den 55 for all of the extra stuff that we have over there. That gives you access to the Discord as well, which gives you the con log episode that we did for the con a couple years ago, and then all the other live streams and gameplay content, all the fun stuff that we have, and it is available for you for $5. So that's all. That's all it takes. You can get all the backlog and what is to come. Like I said, we are on our way to 100 episodes, and it's still counting. I got a lot to say. A lot of stuff happens, and we're gonna keep it going until we can't keep it going no more.
Until he drops.
Until it drops. I am checking it again. So this is an update from before. I did not get an email saying that we will be doing a live recording at MegaCon this year. That being said, I don't trust the process fully. So I will be perusing the schedule to see if we happen to be slipped in.
I did see that the final schedule was updated today.
Yes, I have it. So I will be perusing within the time of what we are recording and talking with you guys to see if it is. And frankly, I don't know how we would pull it if we did get put in here, but that would be something I'll have to figure out.
Yeah, because that is very short notice.
It is very, very short notice, and I have a lot of stuff going on anyway to begin with, which was why we didn't originally plan. But then stuff changed, again, and it is what it is. Speaking of stuff changing and a lot of things popping off, you
got new clothes.
I got new shoes.
Hey, that's something. Yeah, I mean, a way that is close.
That is close. Yes, I got new shoes. Because I literally story time. I work for the government in SATCOM. And so I'm in a warehouse most of my day. And by most of my day, I mean all the time. And
you practically live there.
I got shoes. Nightwolf got me a pair of shoes that they had saw just while they were out, right? And so I was wearing those as my work shoes. And, everything's going fine. I got my inserts. It was good, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know how I have this ability to just make things fail in an inconvenient fashion?
Yep.
Like, no matter how well I take care of something, not just tech, just in general, like, everything just fails in a very inconvenient fashion. So my shoes failed at the seam of the bottom of, like, I guess, the cloth part of the shoe that meets the rubber of the sole.
How?
I don't know how. It just did. So, like, 3 days ago of recording, I pulled my shoe up to put it on my foot.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of all of it coming up, part of it came up.
Oh, God.
So I have had a hole in my shoe. I had to wear them. I had to wear them again for like another day because I had to go get more shoes. And then so
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
that's why I got to get shoes. So I got new shoes, and insoles, everything's floppy. But they're kind of floppy because they're kind of like the wide type. But I need the wide type so that because my feet are fucked up, and so like I got room to move in there with my wacky feet. But it's also causing me a problem because again, it's not meant for my type of feet, so they're not quite right. So they're
not meant to be floppy.
They're not meant to be floppy. I just need more meat on my bones, and frankly, it's very difficult when you are that of a nuclear reactor of like fascist metabolism as a person.
See, I prefer to be that kind of nuclear reactor compared to what I am right now. Just a freaking furnace.
Yeah, no, that's great for the times of the weather drops as this been occurring because the North freaking lost their weather, and it's been down here in the South.
God, it has been crazy seeing like the temperatures up north. Like if any of you listening are up in that area, hope you're all staying safe and staying warm because
and not a frozen popsicle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because goddamn those temperatures. Like the lowest we've gone down here, I think it was like 36 over the weekend.
Yeah, but 36 after dropping from 72 is freaking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, that's not normal.
Well, I'm not saying it's normal, especially for the
down here.
Yeah, for the bipolar state known as Florida.
And so
I will always stand by calling it the bipolar state because the state doesn't know what it wants to do.
That is fair. It is correct, and it is what it is in all sense of the word. So yeah, I new shoes. So yay me. Speaking of new,
I'm waiting for the day like you like hop in and it's like, so I got some shoes, but the moment I touched them, they just disintegrated. Like atoms are all over the place,
just everywhere. Two of which I would be like, I need to try something.
Yeah, they're gonna pull a Shigaraki for.
Yeah, no, definitely trying to like see how far that power actually extends. Because we all know I'm the villain. Had a whole season about it.
Yeah,
all you new people.
And his villain season has never ended.
Of course, it never ended. I'm not, subjecting the populace to it. I guess is the way to put it. Interesting, but it's the talk of the town right now. It's all over the internet. It's all over the Twitter. It's all over everything as whatnot. And it is that of Palworld.
Yes, Pokemon with guns.
And that is a part of the problem. I'm glad you said it like that because it really helps with the transition of what I wanted to like rant / like spiel about. Because to the uninitiated, for our listeners, fans, watchers, whatever you may fall into the category, if you're not an actual like gamer, this won't fully make sense to you. But strap in for the ride. You got in line. I'm sorry. This is it's an Anthem scenario all over again in the sense of what happened with it in the public, not how it actually executed, because unfortunately Anthem kind of flopped. But like in the social sphere of how Anthem was received is the same thing that's happening right now with Palworld. Is that it is similar to something else that's popular, and everyone assumed it is that, or everyone is mad that it is. So
some of those complaints, sorry to cut you off. From what I've heard, some of those complaints come from like I think it's like the CEO or whoever was in charge of the game like messed with AI a lot, and people saw a lot of similarities between some of the pals and Pokemon. I think I saw an image. It was like some dragon that's in power. It looked cool, but someone pointed out that the body looked way too identical to Mega Aggron from Pokemon.
That's not an argument. I don't care. Because they did not put in the problem, and so this is what goes in the conversation, because obviously I look into this. I read up on this, all this stuff and whatnot. This is what I
Mhm.
do. I find the information and then complain about people's inability to critical think anymore. If you're going to if you're going to do an action, right, and not keep the same energy whenever that condition's met, your argument for when something popular pops is no longer valid in my mind.
Mhm.
So we have all of these. We've all seen them. We've all seen those rip-off ads of these mobile games, these free mobile games, these emulators, these indie games or whatever that come across our screens and everyone is just like, it's just some run-of-the-mill rip-off of Pokemon, right? But no one's throwing a fit about those. They're just tossing them off to the wind. Why? Because they're not going to gain any traction. That's
But Power World did.
exactly, and that's why people are mad. They're mad because it gained something which they collectively believed it shouldn't gain, and then they're attributing it to looking like Pokemon in this case.
Yeah,
But
believe
it's
me,
the Pokemon
fans
fandom who's the problem.
Oh yeah, no, they are the ones that have been very vocal about it. Mostly because like a lot of the Pokemon fans they gotta admit the last couple games have not been good.
The games haven't been good. The originality in the even if so, we'll put Power World aside for a second, right? The designs of the Pokemon of the latest generations have been so lackluster and just full of crap is ridiculous. And sorry, Magma, if you ever listen to this episode, I love you, but you're a part of the problem. Your devotion to this series blinds you, maybe not him specifically as bad, but it blinds the general.
It blinded him when it came to the air quotes remake of Diamond and Pearl.
Yes, but like he still will admit when he finds out other information of what should have been.
Oh, it
and
wasn't
what
until
he
he
got.
start. It wasn't until he started playing the game that he realized, oh, this is a remaster. I'm like, I've been telling you this since I saw the game.
But at least he admitted it. He
Oh
gave
yeah,
in.
at least he admitted it. But
These
I
guys
said,
aren't
I
giving
won't.
in. They don't want to take this L, and it's just making the L bigger. That
Yeah.
you're mad that what you wanted out of Pokemon exists in another game, and because of, I'm not saying that there are not obvious similarities in these things, but
Yeah, it's
but
how
it
things
was going
how
to
people are
happen.
acting.
Yeah, it's all about like how they're acting. And so and another thing is I've been looking around. Nintendo hasn't said jack shit because they chose not to.
Yeah, it's really only the fans that have been very
It's
vocal.
only exactly.
Pokemon Company and Nintendo, if they wanted to say something or be vocal about it, they would have most likely said something by now. Or something, if something were to come, then maybe they're just staying quiet. Who knows?
Who knows? But again, to go to the level that these people are going to in regards to this, as another video I saw put it, this moral high ground of how you perceive this game is wild. But what gets me is the Pokemon with guns, right? It's not just, weird. Why couldn't it, like, why wasn't the connection like, weird Digimon with guns? It's the same concept. You have these beings that, you can either A, fight, or B, have with you, and then A, fight again, or what have you. It's all the same realm of, like, this idea. Like, Digimon, it was the same thing. Like, you have these creatures.
Monsters that evolve with guns.
Yeah, you have these monsters who evolved. Yeah, they were the original Pokemon with guns, if you were
No,
talking about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, believe me, like I saw so many like memes saying like it's like Power World is what Digimon could have been.
No, Power World is the great grandson of Digimon.
No,
Let's be
I know.
real.
No, I mean like an open world Digimon game. That's what I'm referring to.
Right.
Because like God, if Digimon did something like that, That'd be amazing.
That would be something, yes. But Digimon's reign
Yo,
didn't
Digimon,
last
listening?
long enough to.
It's still popular.
I'm not saying that it's not popular. It's saying its reign is over.
Mm.
Like you can be popular but not be like reigning in your area. That's like classic like board games. They're still popular, but the time of board games are it. To be fair, I would say it's making a return because a lot of it's becoming digitized.
Uno.
Is oh my god, we're gonna put a pin in that one. We're gonna come back to that because Uno, those guys, Mattel, Jesus Christ, whoever is running their PR department is a freaking genius and deserves all the ice cream in the world. But we'll get back to that. And so it was like with like board games, they're like still popular. Like people are still like having them, like still playing them in like their game nights that you're having with friends. That's a generational thing that's not really going to phase out. So that's still popular. But when it rained, when it was like, there was like 17 different monopolies that everyone wanted. There was like 4 or 5 twisters dropping like every other year, like stuff like that. That's when you're reigning. That's past. So yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't last long enough to get to this point where, yes, if something like this was made for Digimon, it would have taken off. I'm with you on that. But I really think that the subliminal messaging that Pokemon put into the various generations is what swayed people from really like grabbing on to Digimon to the extent that Pokemon had, and it however you experienced it, it's what especially for like the generational differences.
Oh yeah, because I experienced all the biggest things at the same time: Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. Still best Digimon in my opinion, even though this is more of like a sleeper one, is the Digimon Frontiers, if I remember right, because that was when they could turn into the Digimon.
Right.
I just love the designs of the Digimon.
Yeah, that's that was definitely a cool concept. Didn't they do what was it? Ghost Game? Was that what that dark anime was called?
I think so. Actually, that's on my list to watch. Let me check. Digimon Post. Yeah,
so, yeah,
Ghost Game.
I just find it very, very interesting that it's this is the part that like people are getting hung up on, is that I was like, oh, in Pokemon, I was like, but why are you so stuck on the fact that it is it because it gives the idea of, apparently Zuko has something to say as well. Would you like to weigh in, my good baby?
Yeah, Zuko has some qualms when it comes to Power World.
Like, are you mad that you can't have a sheep to do your bidding? You have to do it on your own.
The sheep is cute.
Their designs of the various pals is absolutely perfect, and I don't care if it looks like this, that, and the third. How they made them actually interact and what they do is way better. It's so much better.
Like that really is the main reason why like Pokemon fans are so up in arms about it, is that like literally Power World has done things that, minus the guns obviously, has done things that people have wanted in a Pokemon game for years at this point.
But see, the reaction of Pal World to Pokemon is how I imagine what rugby is to like American football.
Oh Jesus!
Like this is rugby is.
That's a comparison right there.
People like rugby. People have their fans in rugby. But then you have it's a light version, or in some cases a more hardcore version of football, of American football, because I know the proper pronunciation for soccer is football. So
yes.
Not to confuse anybody. It's that's the energy I'm getting off of this, is that you're mad that your game didn't develop into that game, and it should have, but it didn't. And now you're like, why do they get to be happy and we don't? It's giving petty, as the young folks would say.
A lot of Pokemon fans are petty.
It's too much. But I will show you this later, like, but I want to tell you now because you understand the reference. But then when I show it to you, it'll be that much funnier. So, have you played? Or, like, have you watched, like, Magma and AGS play?
Power World?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it because it's free through Game Pass right now.
Okay.
So obviously, like, from what I've heard, like, the Game Pass version is a shittier version compared to the paid version, which I find hilarious. But yeah, so I have an idea of how it works. That's why I have like 2 sheep right now.
Okay. So there's a pal called Vox, and it looks like Evelyn as a pet. And so I named it Evelyn. You'll see. It's like the color scheme. Like, you know how, like, you have, like, the Little Legends and, like, they make them all, like, cutesy and, like, the chibi stuff. I was like, it's how I imagine, like, the color scheme for a chibi Evelyn would be.
Oh, jeez.
And so I named it Evelyn, right? Now, if my dumb ass opened up my eyes ever so slightly more, I would have looked over to the side where it tells you the sex of the pal and saw that it was a boy.
Oh.
So I have a dude Vox pal named Evelyn.
Oh, dear God.
And then I have one of the fire ones named Arson.
Arson. Come here, Arson. Burn it all down.
Arson, I named the penguin Pengu because obviously.
Yeah, you had to.
It's so funny. I haven't named my deer yet. I have 2 of them, and that video you sent me was hilarious because literally the day you sent that to me, I just put that into my world. So yes, mine was doing that.
Music and everything.
It's hilarious because it's now my fastest mount, but I was told that there is a faster one. There's a wolf type, so I gotta go find that one. But right now I just have a deer mount, and it's just funny. But I'll have to show you after we're done recording. I'll load it up, and yeah, it was so funny because I was like, oh my, you're a boy. Oops.
Well, boy Evelyn, let's go.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm not changing your name. You're Evelyn. And then I made the Doctor Who joke. I was like, his name's Susan, and he would like you to respect his life choices.
Oh, Jesus.
Shout out to those who know that reference. You're a real one. And we can be friends.
Did you know Doctor Who?
And it's so funny. But, like, yeah, it is. The game is so much fun, especially when you, like, have people who are, like, dependable. That's why I'm not playing with AGS.
Understandable.
Because all right, placing bets with our listeners and you. How long do you think it's going to be before they get burnt out? I give them 2 weeks.
Oh, that's generous. I was gonna say a week.
Well, I say 2 weeks only because AGS has gotten Magma to play with him, and that always extends it because AGS just wants Magma all the time. So
yeah, no, he's obsessed.
Well, Magma's great, but yes, he is obsessed.
Yeah, no, because I'm thinking about, like, every time we ever play, like, Minecraft and stuff, and, like, those sessions are, like, the shortest they've ever gone is a week.
Yeah, and so it's like the same thing with, like, because they play too much, and I don't know if Warwolf is playing with them, because if Warwolf is playing with them, a week and a half, because that motherfucker doesn't sleep, so all he does is play the one game.
The answer is yes.
Okay, yeah, we can half.
He is also in Power World.
Yeah, we can half.
Yeah, like yeah, I wasn't gonna spend money on it just because mostly just because it's just like one, don't have the money right now, and two, didn't really feel like it. So I
Technically, you're
saw.
kind of paying money for it because it's in the Game Pass and you pay for the Game Pass. So,
Well, I'm also paying for Xbox Live and
yeah.
a
So
bunch of
it's like,
other games.
so realistically, it's more of just like where you spend the money is more so thing. I did it because Paulo had told me that it's gonna jump to 60, like at a
Oh,
point. So I was like, I might as well get
because
it.
it's early access.
Yeah, and if it is the greatest early access state I have ever been a part of. And I've done beta testing, and it's just like there's the one I play with is my coworker. He said he has one gripe, and that is it: is that resources spawn in your base. That is his only
Oh,
gripe.
that
That's
would
it,
piss
and
me off.
that's it. That's the only problem is that they spawn in your base, and it's like especially since you have means of production, like you create like a lumber area, you create a stone area, so to have your stuff respawn in your base area once you put down that marker is a bit annoying. Um, so that is his only gripe. I don't mind it because it allows me to constantly have resources flowing in because, the pals that go for those things are just constantly working on them. And then, when you're out exploring, you can grab more while you're out and then bring it back. And so I like the flow it comes in, but yes, it does get annoying when it just kind of like spawns in there. Like the berry bushes just kind of infest my little log house thingy that I have, and it's ridiculous. But again, that's not really like that detrimental of a thing. That can be easily tweaked. But yeah, it is the most stable early access game I have ever been a part of.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely agree with that. What the I just checked Steam. Apparently, Power World's 10% off from $30, and it's 27.
Yes, I still pay the $30 because I got this the sound pack one.
Uh, good sound, good music.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if I've like it changed the thing, but you know what it's like when I play those games. I get distracted very easily, so
Yep.
I don't. I may be enjoying the music, but I'm not really focused on the music. So, but I know it's there, and so that it has the improvements for it. So, well, the CEO of that. But yeah, definitely there's a lot of high hopes. Also, it's a pain in the ass trying to avoid all of the content of everyone that's like further along. Yeah, there's that one. I know you need it. That's the design of the power statue.
Oh, that makes sense. And for those wanting to know, I found a pal in Power World that is basically Anubis.
Yes, Anubis. So look it up for our Patreon people. It will be in the Discord. So you can have a look there, and then if you also want to be a part of that, join up on that Patreon, people. It's fun, $5, and you don't have to stay for past the month if you don't like it. That's cool, but I want you to know we still care, and if you go back to normal land, we won't hate you. We might judge you, but we won't hate you.
Well, he'll be doing the judging.
Okay, fine. Just out me like that. Why don't you?
That's my job.
I thought we were supposed to be a team.
This is teamwork.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So, it's definitely something to get behind of. Now, to end us off, what are your predictions for the game? Where do you see it going? Let's say in 3 months, and let's do 3 months and a year. Where do you see the game in any aspect, whatever you want to throw out there in any aspects? Like, what are your predictions of how Power will have progressed in that time frame?
Well, in 3 months, well, I would hope that the bitching would have calmed down by then. But I would like to see in 3 months, because like obviously it's still early access, so it'll be interesting to see them add some new stuff to Power World within that time frame. Um, and within a year, oof, trying to think, because I'm just trying to think about like this type of game. Like, I guess in a year, like I could see if it does well, which apparently it really is. Like, I could see maybe like an expansion onto like the current area or a new area to go to.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
but obviously it just comes down to these next couple months to see how it continues to be received and how long people keep playing it.
Yeah. I'm thinking I would like the same thing for the 3 months. I think it's to be realistic. I think it's going to die down within like 2 months because people just get so bored with themselves very quickly, especially when it comes to this whole high
Gotta be
ground
first.
moral fightness or whatever. Like it still will probably be little smolders here and there. Shout out to the new league champ coming. Um,
Yeah, the dragon.
but other than that, I think it will just kind of like subside to the point that no one cares anymore, especially with a lot of other games coming this year and a lot of like changes with stuff. So like I think if Nintendo like announces any other games that come or that's on like the docket, will definitely skew the attention. Um,
Yeah, especially since like seeing as how Pokemon Company likes to release uh games for the holidays, I would not be surprised if they plan to release a in between game
right.
for the holiday season, which
Um,
that will be interesting to see.
yeah, so definitely a want to see that. Now, if they do their homework and they continue to go at the path that they're taking right now with what they added, how they turn their mechanics, listening to what's being told of them that is not enjoyed, but not listening to the idiots that are just like complaining, like the constructive criticism of the game. If they continue to take that path in a year, I'm pretty sure it's going to go very, very well from them because they're not going to really have too much to worry about.
Yeah.
And so it's like, now there is more for that I would like to discuss of whatnot, but we are at our time for this episode. So if you want part two, be sure to subscribe either in Spotify or to the Patreon to get the other half of what we have to talk about of this. Also, we have gameplay, so we will be in Power World. So until then, we'll see you either next Friday or we'll see you in the second part. Adios.
See y'all then.